Hello everybody, welcome to the grand finale of the 9th Graceful Embroidery birthday event. I hope you've all had a wonderful time, that you've downloaded all the designs and that it's been a time of inspiration. We've had some wonderful entries in the competition, some beautiful stories to read that members have posted, and I think all round it's been a wonderful event. On this closing day I just wanted to practice my video skills again in my studio, and I wanted to have something to show you today. Well, I've got two things to show you actually. Firstly, I wanted to show you the results of an embroidery I did the other day. Somebody made the suggestion that perhaps the Morning Grunge designs would be a good candidate for stitching out in the silk thread which I've used for the Beatrice collection, and so I put together a block of them the other day and stitched them out. Here you can see my block. I took most of the images and most of the designs and did mirror imaging of them, putting the scrolls in the corner here, and overall it turned out very well. I chose a lovely grey-green pale silk, but I had a few problems, I must admit. Halfway through the embroidery I got a bird's nest. I don't think I've had one in my machine for years, and it caught the silk and pulled it through the little gap on my machine, pulling it through to the bobbin area, and actually ripped the silk. But I was determined not to let this stop me stitching this out, so I carefully removed it and thought, well, if there is a hole I can always put some crystals there. I mean, it shows to me, but you probably wouldn't have noticed it yourselves. But after that I noticed that I had a few problems. Here the needle had obviously been damaged, although I confess that before my previous embroidery was on felt, and I had a slightly larger needle than I really needed for this delicate embroidery. And as you can see, if you look very carefully, there are lines here where the needle has caught the threads of the silk fabric and pulled it. And this happens on silk if you have too big a needle or a needle that is blunt. And also you'll see here at the sides, my outline alignment stitches have also left little holes in the silk, which wouldn't ordinarily be quite so large as that. I tend to turn my embroidery over, and with a little bit of working of the finger I ease some of the threads back, and this can remove some of the holes. Best to do that before you press it. I've pressed this, so I don't think I'm going to be able to remove them by that method. But the important thing to remember when you're doing silk embroidery is to have a very fine needle. I used a 75, or I think it was a 70 gold Schmetz needle, and as you can see, this is the most dense part of the Morning Grunge designs, and this stitched out a lot better than these ones down here. These designs I didn't create them for silk thread, although theoretically being a 50 weight thread is a little bit lighter, thinner than the 40 weight, but I wouldn't use it for dense designs, and parts of these designs are a little bit dense. Here it's the triple stitching here, it's done perfectly, but I think these little spirals that are made of the seed heads of the Morning Grunge have got quite a few little satin stitches on the end, and they're just a little bit too dense for the silk thread. But overall I'd give it 8 out of 10, and with a little bit of care perhaps it would have been better if I'd used the right needle, but we all make these mistakes, and that's what I like to do. Share my mistakes with you so that you don't make the same mistakes. When I was out shopping the other day, I found this very delicate dark beige lace, which I think goes very nicely with this design. It matches the scrolls in the middle, and I think I shall take this and make it into a cushion with a contrasting ruffle around the edge, probably either lighter than this than darker. I just have to see what silk I've got. But that's my plans for my Morning Grunge block. And the good news is that I'm going to gift this to all of you. After I've completed, after I've put this video up, you will find the zip file to download this block. It goes in an 8" by 8" square hoop, but I've doctored it. I've split it like this up here so that there's 2 blocks for those of you who've only got 6" wide hoops. So do download the block. It's unique. It won't be available to anybody else or at any other time, just to my Graceful Embroidery group members today. This is my quilter's cut and press, which I invested in last year. I love it. It's got the grids, it's got measurements, and it's also got the angles and a nice centering piece. Probably one of the best things that I bought last year. The only trick is on my table here it slides slightly and I need to put something on the back of it. It has a cutting board on the back, but I don't use that because I've got a big one. But I would certainly recommend it to anybody because it's nice and spongy, so it's very good for turning your embroidery over and pressing into. Now I want to show you these. These are some designs that I created last week. Last year I went to Hampton Court Palace in London, and I went to the Royal School of Needlework's exhibition on whitework, which was very inspirational. I had a wonderful time, and although at the time I just produced Jane's whitework, I was determined to do some more whitework embroidery, and this is the result. And these are going to be the anniversary designs for members as their membership comes to maturity throughout the next year. Here you can see about 12 of the designs, including this gorgeous lace panel type design, which is based on a Charles I portrait by, I can't remember who it's by, it's completely gone. A slightly pointed type lace, which I haven't done before. Anyway, these are the whitework designs for the coming year, based loosely on a Regency theme, but Van Dyck is the artist I was thinking of. This is my first stitch out after creating them. There are a few errors on here. Some of the petals need a little bit more fill, and obviously I shall alter those. But what I'm asking everybody today is to submit ideas for a name for this whitework embroidery collection. The first set, as I say, will be the anniversary designs for September 2016 to August 2017, and then this time next year it will be released for sale with other sets as well in the collection. So do email me with your suggestions for a name for these lovely designs. I hope you like them. I thoroughly enjoyed creating them.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I do assure you that I shall keep practicing making these videos without so many hms and coughs and splutters. But it's fun to do, and it's a lovely way of you coming into my studio and for me to show you some new embroidery skills. So thank you very much for the birthday event. I look forward to receiving your emails about ideas for the new whitework collection. Don't forget to put in your orders before midnight tonight, and if you do have any problems with the website, it's getting a little bit busy, then just send me an email. Thank you everybody for a lovely event, and I look forward to doing the same again in another year's time.